everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dulcimerica. My name is Bing Futch. It's 2017 and we have brand new episodes, brand new set, brand new facial hair. This is going away very soon, but I'm having an awful lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me. Before I go any further, I want to say a big old shout out to one of my patrons on Patreon, Rocio Carrasco. Thank you very, very much for your support and for your encouragement for these months that you've been part of the family on Patreon. I very much appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in the future. I haven't met all my patrons yet, which makes it all the more amazing that they are out there as this big community. What is Patreon, you might ask? Patreon is a way for people like yourself to help support artists who are trying to do what they do full-time, whether it be music or dance, comic book art, and even sailing ships out there, captains circumnavigating the world. Just all kinds of really neat people getting together with other neat people and forming large families of support. It's really, really cool, and for only $5 a month, you can get all kinds of backstage access and stuff like that. So if you want to find out more about it, look right on down here and visit patreon.com/bingfutch. Check out the video and look at the tip rewards and see some of what you might be able to download. There's all kinds of free public downloads down there. But I really appreciate you, Rocio, and I'm looking forward to many, many more adventures around the sun with everybody on the Patreon crew. Well, I got a lot of requests to do a little look again at the looper pedal and also my pedal board in general. So I've got the GoPro camera pointing right down at the Boss RC-30 Loopstation, which is what I've been using for quite a few years now, and have felt no need to upgrade to a newer, slicker version. It really does get the job done. And then we'll also take a look at the other stuff I've got going on here. Opened up with a little Black Mountain rag as a demonstration of how to use the looper pedal to form a one-man band or a one-woman band, as the case might be. Let me go ahead and clear out. Look at my dirty toes. Let me go ahead and clear out the information in here. If you've got the Boss RC-30, a lot of this is going to be very, very specific to the RC-30 as far as operation is concerned. But general looping techniques will cover that. But for the RC-30, if you've got something in there and you want to clear it out of the patch, step on the right pedal and then the left pedal. See how those lights flash? And the CL shows up. CL stands for clear. You've cleared the patch and you can now get in there and do something else. So let's take a look first of all at all of the stuff that I have got lined up here. And this is a work in progress, always has been, but I've taken things out of the chain and put them back in different order, and it really does make a big difference on the order you put it in, because a lot of these stomp boxes can be noisy and you'll transfer that sound if you're using looper pedals and other things that amplify your signal. So what I got starting from right to left is a 7-band equalizer made by Boss, and that helps me dial in the EQ a little bit better. I do have an EQ on the Dulcimer that's 3-channel, but that's a 7-channel EQ, and that allows me to fine-tune things. So if I want to increase the bass, take out the bass, thin out the midsection a bit, add some highs, take out some highs, depending on what room I'm playing in, that gives me more control over my overall sound. And so I think that's a very essential part of your stomp box chain. Right next to that is the Boss Digital Delay pedal DD3. And this one in particular has got a foot pedal you can get. It's called the FS5U. And this allows you to tap in your delay beat. So really, really important if you're working with a drum machine like you've got on the RC-30. You can match up the rhythms with the delay over here, and you can set a basic delay and then alter that with the pedals. Then we've got the Pog over here. The Pog is my bass creator. It's an octaver, so what it does is it takes your level and it drops it down an octave and even adds a second lower octave to it, so you can get your bass tones in there. So you can octave out all of your stuff here. And that comes in handy for becoming your one-man band. The one thing I do not like about this pedal is that it doubles everything. But the version that steps up from here is called the Pog 2, I believe, and it allows you to use what's called a Q setting, and you can fine-tune what spectrum of frequency you want to double and then it leaves the rest alone, so you don't have everything sounding like a 12-string guitar. Nothing wrong with the 12-string guitar, but you know what I'm saying. So the Pog for my bass, and then of course the RC-30 Loopstation, which is a neat little machine. It's got basic rhythm tracks built into it, and we can start off with just a hi-hat, and then we play along with that. So let's have a little fun with this for a second, and let's play through some basic chords. D, G, and A will do. So what I want to do is I started that with the right pedal, which is the start the loop pedal. It's also the stop the loop pedal. But it also taps your tempo in. So if I'm going to slow that down, I'm going to give it 2 slow clicks. And see it slow down a little bit. And we can slow it down even more. Now what I want to do is go over here to my left pedal. When I press that down, that's going to start the loop, and I can start recording some stuff into it. So we'll go. Set the loop by pressing that pedal again. So when the red light comes on, you're recording, and then when the green light comes on, it's going to play that loop back. So if you wanted to start playing immediately after you set the loop, you're good to go. Playback and record. Now you can set that so where it shuts off recording when you set the loop end, and you can solo, and then you can click it again to bring the record situation into play. So right now I'm going to hit, and you'll see that red light will go out. Now it's not recording. Now I can play anything I want to. All I do is I hit that left button again, the left pedal, and then that's going to start the recording. Red light comes on, and now the playback. So I kick on my bass pedal and do this. Say I don't like the bass part and I want to take it out, or I want to change something about it so I can make the song more dynamic. I'm going to wait for a pretty good time, and the cutoff is a little sloppy. I think it's about 2.5 or 3 beats. I'm going to step on that left pedal and hold it down. Kind of abrupt there, you have to work with your timing on that depending on what you're doing. That takes out the last thing that was recorded, so it's an undo feature basically. Now you want to throw that bass back in there, try and get your timing right, hold down the left pedal. Fun stuff, isn't it? Fun, isn't it? So you can just do all kinds of neat stuff with the looper pedal, but what is really interesting is you can create songs that aren't just a loop here, a loop there, and then go back and forth and bounce around. You can build and divide based on what you play over the top of it. A lot of songs have the same chords that they do in the verse that they do in the chorus. So you can get away with a lot of different types of stuff. And to give you an example of that, I'll give you a little demonstration. But first of all, let's take a look at some of the other features on the RC-30. One of the things that's cool about this pedal is it is a stereo looper pedal. So you record your tracks in stereo, and if you're using a stereo PA system or recording in stereo, you get a nice fat sound with your waves, and you can also record an A track and a B track. So you can have two distinctly different parts. And that is where, again, the FS5U comes into play. This is an individual pedal, and what you do is you end up buying two of them, and they actually hook together. And these two pedals are then going to allow you to control the looper pedal without having to bend over your instrument and reach down and fumble around with your fingers. This enables you to change patches and cycle through all the different patches. So if I step on here, watch the number there, you'll see number 3 patch, and then I can switch over to number 4. And then I can kind of, go through the patches without having to bend over and hit them myself. Also, let me go on back to number 3. Now, you saw me hold down these little foot switches in order to move through the patches. But if you just touch the foot switch, watch that little illuminated red dot on channel 1 right there. I'll hit the switch to the right, and that switches to channel 2, which means I can now record on channel 2 and leave the loop on channel 1 running. And if I want to go back, then I just go ahead and hit that button again. That was the right foot pedal on the FS5U that I hit. If I hit the left pedal, that's going to turn on the effects. See that red light come on there? There's some really kind of spacey effects that happen over here. I don't use them a whole bunch. They can be a lot of fun. Let's go back in here and do something fun. Tap, tap. Okay, now what I'll do is switch over to 2. I'll lay my bass down over here. Stop button or the stop pedal, track 2 stops, the bass comes out, but Spotted Pony continues to play. So I can lay back into that by pressing the play pedal. Now I switch over to track 1, and now hit stop. And watch what happens. Now I'm left with just the bass, and the main Dulcimer part is gone. So you can have more tight control over your individual tracks, and you don't have to layer them in all over the place. So that's kind of a fun little thing, and you can make more dynamic pieces that way. Time to scoot over here and hit. There we go. Again, we're going to hit both pedals and shut them down. Okay, now let's show you some of these drum tracks here. So we've got a very basic 4 on the floor kick happening here. And I gotta clear out. I don't use tracks 1 and 2 a whole bunch. I'm gonna clear that out, and actually you wanna go back over here and clear that out as well. And now skip back to track 1. I hope that's staying in frame for you guys. Okay. Here's our 4 on the floor kick. Nice little kick snare. Or a rock and roll kick snare going on there. This could be a Gulf and Western or a ballad, maybe a country song. I never use this patch. Now I use this a lot. Little 6/8 groove here. This is great for country. It's also great for a tune that I'm getting a lot of notice for, which is Promentory from the last of the Mohicans. Let me show you how I lay that all down here, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So we're going to start off with the bass part. When I lay that bass in, that's going to be the anchor for everything. I immediately turn the bass off, and then I lay my chords in, and that's going to remain the same all the way through the tune. Then I'm going to stop recording and play solo lines to make it sound like it's evolving and changing dynamically. Then I'll play the Gale, which is part of Promentory, but I won't record it. I'll play it a couple of times and keep that level nice and low. Then I'll come back and play some more soloing, and then I'll come back and I'll start layering the Gale to really make it pop and stand out. And then finally, I'll do some improv, throw it all together. We'll see how it goes. This is Promentory from the last of the Mohicans, starting with the bass. Watch the feet. Simultaneously. Turn off the bass and stop or start the recording over here. Gonna stop recording and keep playing. Do it again. Now, the Gale. Soloing. Start the recording to catch the Gale. And that is how you layer a performance and make it sound like it's actually a lot more than what it really is. But we're really starting off with a very, very simple bass line and chord progression that repeats all the way out through the piece. And then we're adding some dynamics and soloing and different arrangements and levels and stacking of performances in order to make it sound like you've got something more going on. And that's just a very, very simple A section kind of a way to go about it. Using tracks 1 and 2 and other stuff, you can do a lot more with it. Now that we've got that little piece in there, let me show you the special effects. That's fun, isn't it? Lots of fun. So the looper pedal is something I highly recommend if you're learning parts or learning songs that have 2 parts and you want to hear how those parts go together. If you want to try chords against other chords to experiment a bit, or if you just want to have some fun and create one-man band arrangements, I really highly recommend it. I haven't looked at any newer looper pedals, and they're probably a lot smoother and sweet than this one is, but hey, still pretty happy with it. And there are even smaller looper pedals that like the RC-3 that Butch Ross uses that are fabulous. So look into it, and also look into getting yourself a nice little case for all your boards. Rowan makes this nice one, this BCB 60. Normally it's made for Rowan Boss pedals, but you can get little pieces of foam insert and fit other types of pedals in there. My Pog fits in there not at all well, but that's okay. And you can get 6 pedals in here, 2, 4, and 6, or 3 double pedals, or double pedal and 4, you get the idea. And instead of having to wear out all kinds of 9-volt batteries, you can plug just one pedal board in and it feeds power to all of your gear, so you don't have to worry about going through all those batteries all the time. So a pedal board, very, very basic. Equalizer, 7-channel, delay. The Micro Pog, very cool. Looking into the Pog 2 by Harmonix. I think they're called Electro Harmonix. Pog 2 allows you to dial in what frequencies you want there to have bass, and it leaves everything else alone, which I'm looking forward to. Boss has got a octave pedal, the OC3 I think it is. It's a brown pedal. It handles bass only up to your 7th fret on the bass string of the Dulcimer, which is ideal. It leaves everything else alone, but the bass is rather warbly and unpredictable, and that's why I don't recommend going with that one. Get into the Pogs. It's a very nice, strong, solid bass signal, and you can control the level of signal that's in there. I want a little bit of Dulcimer in there, of course, when I'm playing. But you can take all that Dulcimer signal out and get nothing but bass, baby. And then, of course, the RC-30 Loopstation. Really great. I don't think they make it anymore, but you can find them on eBay for like $250, and it's really a worthwhile investment to get them all up together and have some fun. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you guys would like a copy of the Gale, all the parts that I just played out there, you want the tablature, drop me a line at bingfutch@yahoo.com, and I'd be very, very happy to share it with you so that you can go out and you can have some fun with that piece as well. Well, that is going to wrap it up for this week's edition, this day's edition, this second edition of the Dulcimerica video podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and until next time, I look forward to sharing some more music with you. This is Bing Futch saying, play on, baby, play on. Right then, let's turn all these cameras off, and lights, and fans. Whatever that sound is.